Hello friends, welcome back to CS PsychoFacts, the channel where we dive deep into the hidden layers of human psychology and uncover how the human mind shapes our destiny. Have you ever wondered why some people rise from failures stronger than before, while others give up completely at the very first obstacle? Why do some students, athletes, entrepreneurs, and leaders continue to grow throughout their lives, while others hit a ceiling and stop evolving? The secret lies not in their talent, not in their resources, but in their mindset. Carol S. Dweck, a world-renowned psychologist from Stanford University, reveals in her groundbreaking book, Mindset, The New Psychology of Success, that the way we view our abilities and intelligence determines everything, from success in school, work, and sports, to relationships, and even personal happiness. According to her, there are two core mindsets, the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. One traps you in limitations, fear of failure, and fragile self-worth. The other opens the door to learning, resilience, and extraordinary achievement. In today's video, we're going to break down the powerful lessons from this book and see how shifting from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset can transform not just your career, but your entire life. If you've ever doubted yourself, feared failure, or felt stuck, this summary will give you the psychological tools to break free and unlock your true potential. Carol Dweck begins by introducing us to the concept of the fixed mindset versus the growth mindset. A fixed mindset is the belief that your qualities, intelligence, and talents are carved in stone. You either have them or you don't. People with this mindset constantly feel the need to prove themselves. If they fail, it's seen as a permanent reflection of their lack of ability. They chase validation, avoid challenges, and secretly live in fear of being exposed as not good enough. On the other side is the growth mindset. People with a growth mindset believe that abilities can be developed through effort, learning, and perseverance. Intelligence isn't fixed, it's expandable. Talent is just the starting point, not the finish line. When people embrace this mindset, they thrive on challenges, see failure as feedback, and continuously push themselves beyond their comfort zone. Dweck's research shows that the difference between these mindsets is not small, it's life-changing. Imagine two students who face a tough math problem. The fixed mindset student quickly says, "I'm just not good at math," and gives up. The growth mindset student says, "I need to figure out a new way to solve this," and keeps trying until they improve. Over time, these small differences compound into massive gaps in achievement, confidence, and even happiness. Now let's go deeper into how these mindsets play out in different areas of life. In education, Dweck studied how children reacted to difficult problems. The fixed mindset children felt crushed by failure. They believed difficulty meant they weren't smart. Some even cheated, lied, or avoided effort just to protect their image. But the growth mindset children became excited when things got hard. They said things like, "I love a challenge," or "mistakes help me learn." This difference in attitude literally shapes their future. Because while one child avoids growth to protect their ego, the other child accelerates growth by embracing effort and mistakes. In sports, the contrast is just as clear. Michael Jordan, for example, wasn't born the greatest basketball player. He was famously cut from his high school team. But instead of believing he lacked talent, he used failure as fuel. He trained harder than anyone else, developed his skills, and became legendary. That's the growth mindset in action. Compare that to athletes with fixed mindsets who crumble under pressure because they see failure as proof that they're not talented enough. In the workplace, the fixed mindset can be toxic. Employees with this mindset often fear competition, avoid risk, and resist feedback because it threatens their fragile self-image. Managers with fixed mindsets create environments where innovation dies because people are afraid to make mistakes. In contrast, workplaces built around growth mindset encourage experimentation, feedback, and continuous improvement. Employees see challenges as opportunities, not threats. Leaders inspire their teams to stretch, learn, and evolve. But perhaps the most surprising insight from Dweck's research is how these mindsets affect our relationships. People with fixed mindsets often see relationships as something that should be perfect without effort. If problems arise, they believe it's a sign of incompatibility. They may avoid difficult conversations or blame their partner rather than work through challenges. Growth mindset people, however, see relationships as dynamic, something that requires effort, learning, and adaptation. They know love deepens through communication, understanding, and resilience in the face of conflict. One of the most powerful examples Dweck shares is about how praise shapes mindset. If you tell a child, "You're so smart," it may sound positive, but it actually reinforces a fixed mindset. The child thinks their worth comes from being naturally intelligent, so when they face failure, they feel crushed. It means they're not smart anymore. But if you praise effort, "You work so hard on this," the child learns that success comes from persistence and strategy, not just innate talent. This small shift in language can change the trajectory of someone's mindset for life. Now, let's talk about failure and resilience. People with fixed mindsets avoid failure at all costs. They play it safe, choose easy paths, and never risk embarrassment. Ironically, this keeps them stuck and limits their growth. On the other hand, people with growth mindsets don't see failure as the end. They see it as information. Each failure is a lesson, each setback a stepping stone. This is why growth mindset individuals are far more likely to achieve long-term success. They simply don't quit. Consider the world of entrepreneurship. Many of the most successful entrepreneurs, Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, Oprah Winfrey, faced massive failures before achieving success. Jobs was fired from his own company. Musk's rockets exploded multiple times. Oprah was told she wasn't fit for television. In a fixed mindset, those failures would have been final verdicts. But with a growth mindset, these individuals saw failure as feedback and kept pushing forward until they created extraordinary success. Dweck also warns us about the false growth mindset, where people say they believe in growth but don't truly practice it. For example, someone may say, "Failure is good," but still secretly avoid challenges. Or they may praise effort but not push for real progress. True growth mindset isn't about pretending everything is fine. It's about constantly learning, adapting, and applying effort with purpose. Another fascinating idea is how mindsets influence leadership and influence. Leaders with fixed mindsets often surround themselves with people who flatter them because they fear being challenged. They hoard power and resist change. Leaders with growth mindsets, on the other hand, actively seek input, encourage collaboration, and aren't afraid to admit mistakes. This humility and adaptability make them far more effective in building strong, resilient organizations. And here's something deeply personal. Your self-talk is often the clearest indicator of your mindset. Fixed mindset people often hear an inner voice that says, "Don't fail, don't try, you might look stupid," or, "If you were really good, this would be easy." Growth mindset people hear a different voice, one that says, "What can I learn from this? Every expert was once a beginner," and "Effort makes me stronger." The voice you listen to most shapes your destiny. Carol Dweck emphasizes that mindset is not destiny. It's a choice. The brain has an incredible ability to change and adapt through neuroplasticity. This means you're not stuck with the mindset you were born with. By practicing new thought patterns, by challenging your limiting beliefs, you can rewire your brain to embrace growth. One practical step she recommends is embracing challenges intentionally. Most of us avoid challenges because they make us uncomfortable. But when you deliberately step into situations that stretch you, whether it's learning a new skill, tackling a complex project, or facing a fear, you literally strengthen your brain's learning circuits. Every time you do something hard and push through, you're proving to yourself that growth is possible. Another step is to reframe failure. Instead of saying, "I failed," start saying, "I learned." This small shift changes failure from a dead end into a stepping stone. For example, Thomas Edison famously said after thousands of unsuccessful experiments, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That's the growth mindset. Dweck also highlights the importance of effort. In a fixed mindset, effort is seen as a weakness. If you're truly talented, you shouldn't need to try. But in the growth mindset, effort is power. It's the path to mastery. Talent may give you a head start, but effort determines how far you'll go. Every great artist, athlete, scientist, and leader has invested countless hours of effort behind the scenes. What looks like genius is often persistence in disguise. Now let's dive into some real-world examples. In business, companies that embrace growth mindsets thrive, while those stuck in fixed mindsets collapse under pressure. Think about Kodak. For decades, they dominated the camera industry. But they resisted digital technology because they feared change. It threatened their existing success. This fixed mindset cost them their empire. Contrast that with Netflix. They started with DVD rentals but embraced streaming, then pivoted again into content creation. Their willingness to adapt, learn, and grow transformed them into a global powerhouse. In sports, growth mindset athletes often outperform natural prodigies in the long run. Serena Williams didn't rely only on her natural ability. She relentlessly trained, adapted, and reinvented herself throughout her career. Kobe Bryant, known for his Mamba mentality, spent endless hours studying the game, reviewing tapes, and improving weaknesses. Their greatness wasn't just talent, it was the growth mindset applied consistently. In education, teachers play a massive role in shaping mindset. A teacher who tells a student, "You're not good at this subject," plants a seed of fixed belief that can last for years. But a teacher who says, "You haven't mastered this yet," communicates that learning is always possible. The word "yet" is a powerful growth mindset tool. It keeps the door to improvement open. Mindset also impacts leadership styles. Fixed mindset leaders often demand loyalty, avoid feedback, and see subordinates as threats. Growth mindset leaders, however, see themselves as learners alongside their teams. They encourage questions, welcome constructive criticism, and build environments where people feel safe to innovate. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella is a modern example. When he took over, he shifted the company culture from a fixed know-it-all to a growth learn-it-all culture. This shift revitalized Microsoft into one of the most valuable companies in the world. But one of the most personal and fascinating areas where mindset plays a role is in relationships. Fixed mindset partners often see conflict as a sign of incompatibility. They think if love were real, everything should be easy. When problems arise, they withdraw or blame. Growth mindset partners, however, view relationships as living systems that require effort, communication, and growth. They see conflicts as opportunities to deepen understanding. Instead of running away from problems, they work through them and become stronger together. Dweck also explores the role of mindset in parenting. Parents who emphasize natural talent or intelligence unknowingly trap children in fixed mindsets. For example, telling a child, "You're so smart," may lead them to fear trying new things, because if they fail, they might stop being smart. On the other hand, parents who praise effort, strategy, and persistence nurture growth. A simple phrase like, "I love how hard you worked on this," teaches children that growth comes from effort, not innate talent. Over time, this fosters resilience, curiosity, and confidence. A key lesson from the book is that mindsets are contagious. The way leaders, teachers, or parents view growth influences everyone around them. If a company leader models growth by admitting mistakes and learning openly, employees follow. If a parent models growth by trying new things and showing resilience, children adopt the same mindset. Mindsets ripple outward, shaping entire cultures. Dweck doesn't just stop at theory. She gives us tools to cultivate a growth mindset in daily life. Here are some powerful practices. 1. Embrace yet. When you can't do something, add yet to the sentence. I can't solve this math problem yet. I don't know how to code yet. This small word keeps hope alive. 2. Change your self-talk. When your inner critic says, "I can't do this," reframe it to, "I can learn how to do this." Your brain listens to the words you repeat. 3. Seek feedback, not validation. Instead of chasing praise, look for constructive criticism. Feedback is fuel for growth. 4. Celebrate effort, not just results. Recognize the process, not only the outcome. Every step of learning counts. 5. Surround yourself with growth-minded people. Their attitudes will inspire and reinforce your own growth mindset. Another crucial insight is that mindsets can shift over time. You might have a growth mindset in one area, like sports, but a fixed mindset in another, like relationships. Awareness is the first step to change. Once you recognize where you're stuck, you can start practicing new beliefs and actions. Finally, Dweck warns us against complacency. Adopting a growth mindset is not about feeling good all the time. It's about doing the hard work of learning, failing, and improving. True growth mindset means committing to continuous evolution, even when it's uncomfortable. So, what's the biggest takeaway from Mindset, the new psychology of success? It's simple but profound. Your mindset shapes your destiny. Whether you believe your abilities are fixed or flexible determines how you approach challenges, failures, and opportunities. With a growth mindset, you can turn obstacles into stepping stones, failures into lessons, and dreams into reality. If you want to change your life, start by changing your mindset. Practice effort, embrace challenges, and reframe failure. Remember, greatness isn't born, it's built. If you found this book summary valuable, don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who needs motivation, and subscribe to CS PsychoFacts for daily psychology shorts. Together, we'll keep uncovering the hidden psychology that shapes success, money, and influence.